On this vote, the yeas are 54 and the nays are 44. 3/5 of the Senate duly chosen and sworn not having voted in the affirmative. The motion upon reconsideration is not agreed to.
Government shutdown still in effect. The Senate voted hours ago, and we will have to wait for another vote. That brings us back to the Rocket City. Welcome to Fox 54 News at 6. I'm Kenesha Dees. Today marks the third day of that government shutdown, and many federal workers are left uncertain about the future of their jobs. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, Huntsville employs a large number of federal employees. More than 21,000 federal employees work in the Huntsville metro, with more than 17,000 of those workers living in Huntsville. Statewide, there are over 61,000 federal employees. And as Logan Alexandra Russell tells us, a local organization is gearing up to help those affected.
One Genoway is preparing to help federal employees impacted by the shutdown through a food box pickup tomorrow. Federal workers can pick up a food box with no questions asked or proof of employment. Founder and CEO Chris Whitney says he and his wife understand what it's like to need food during a rough time and hopes they can provide just that.
Our hope is to share hope, hope in this season and this time. And we want to just bring honor and dignity to those that are receiving, because we know how hard that is.
The food box pickup location will be in the parking lot of Johnny Grills 2 off of University Drive in Huntsville. You can look for a truck with a spoon, fork, and knife on the side, and pickup will be available from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Whitney says the food distribution will continue as long as the shutdown lasts.
We're not going to stop until it's settled and the government opens back up and starts paying these people on a regular basis.
Whitney says he hopes One Genoway can provide hope and resources to those who provide so much for us.
I just think it's critical, man. These are people giving their time and energy for our country to function on a daily basis.
One Genoway is also giving out food for federal workers in Franklin, Tennessee. They are prepared for any size crowd tomorrow, big or small, and will continue to meet the needs of the community. Whitney says the organization is always looking for volunteers and donations to help them keep serving Northern Alabama.
Resources would be tremendously helpful right now. Once again, as we're trying to, this is an emergency need, so we're stepping in. And we know provisions coming.
To learn more, you can visit onegenoway.com. In Huntsville, Logan Alexander Russell, Fox 54 News.
One Genoway also does mobile food distribution on Saturdays. You can drive up and get a cart full of fresh produce and pantry items. Red Zone Federal Credit Union also helping people impacted by the government shutdown. The credit union announced Wednesday it's offering financial relief options to members affected by the government shutdown. These services include low-interest loans and temporary payment deferrals. The relief options are available immediately. Both federal employees and government contractors directly impacted by the shutdown are eligible. We have a live look from Rainbow Mountain. Quite a beautiful view, a nice view that I might add for a Friday. We also know it's Football Friday. We're going to bring in Fox 54 Weather Impact Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman with a look at how the rest of this evening will look.
It was a fantastic Friday afternoon across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. Check this out. Temperatures beautiful today, pretty close to average. As a matter of fact, some of us were a bit below average through the course of the afternoon. Scottsboro, Arab, Albertville, Coleman, Fort Payne all saw high temperatures this afternoon of 77 degrees. Really beautiful weather over in northeast Alabama. Athens and Decatur saw 81. We saw 81. Pulaski and Fayetteville, Florence saw a high temperature this afternoon also of 81 degrees. Now the 70s are a bit below where we should be this time of year. The lower 80s are a bit above where we should be this time of year. I want to take you back real quick to 2019. On this day in 2019, the high temperature was 100 degrees, so it could be so much hotter. Let's talk about Friday night football. Truly some fantastic weather for you this evening. We're talking about a mostly clear sky. We're talking about a really nice lack of humidity across the Tennessee Valley. Really is going to be beautiful weather. 75 at 7 o'clock, 70 by 8, 68 by 9, 67 degrees by the time we get to 10 p.m. We'll talk about the weekend in just a couple of minutes.
A professional angler has been indicted on multiple manslaughter charges following a fatal boat crash on Smith Lake earlier this year. According to court documents, Flint Davis faces 3 counts of manslaughter and 2 counts of assault, among other charges. Investigators say Davis was driving a boat at 67 miles per hour back on April 16th when he struck another boat. The victims identified as John Clark, Jeffrey Little, and Joey Broom. Davis's bond set at $115,000. The DeKalb County Sheriff's Office says they found a gun near a school following a traffic stop yesterday. Here's what we know. Deputies found an empty holster inside a suspect's car, leading to fears a gun was discarded near the school. And during the search, a handgun was found near a school building. The suspect, who has yet to be named, is currently at the DeKalb County Detention Center on unrelated charges, with further charges possibly coming. The Sheriff's Office adds there was no threat to the school or staff, and the search happened after school hours. The Sheriff's Office also didn't say which school was involved. A traffic stop in Priceville led police to arrest a Michigan man wanted in Florida. Priceville police say they pulled over a car yesterday around 9:20 p.m. in the 3300 block of Highway 67. The driver, identified as Cortez Landrum of Lansing, Michigan, was found with active extraditable warrants from Crestview, Florida. The warrants were for unlawful possession of a controlled substance and for engaging in a criminal offense with a weapon or firearm. Landrum was taken to the Morgan County Jail, where he awaits extradition. A crash involving a motorcycle in Coleman has claimed the life of a Hanceville man, we've learned. Senior Trooper Brandon Bailey with the LEA says the accident happened on US 31 near Coleman County 529 around 5:40 this morning. Billy Smith was killed when his motorcycle was hit by a car, throwing him from his motorcycle. Smith was pronounced dead at the scene. Aaliyah's Highway Patrol Division continues to investigate. A man arrested after an investigation into several thefts in and around Marshall County. The Sheriff's Office says deputies first responded to a home on Breedwell Road Monday after a truck was stolen. Later, deputies responded to a homeowner who found open car doors and signs that a car had been rummaged through on Pea Ridge Road. The tip led investigators to the stolen truck, and a suspect was found in DeKalb County. Police arrested Jonathan Rodman and charged him with theft and unlawful breaking and entering. He's currently in the DeKalb County Jail and will be returned to Marshall County to face additional charges. The state of Tennessee is planning to execute a woman for the first time in more than 200 years. The Tennessee Supreme Court just set the execution date for Krista Pike. Pike is charged with the 1995 murder of 19-year-old Colleen Slimmer. She and an accomplice allegedly lured Slimmer into a wooded area, tortured her, and then killed her. Slimmer's attorneys argue at the time of the crime, she suffered from severe mental illness and had a history of childhood trauma, rather. Slimmer's mother says once the execution takes place, it will close a tragic chapter.
Once it's completely done and everything is over with, it will be a close. But other than that, no, because it's all the same. You know, it's still code and paperwork and government, stuff like that, you know, that holds me up from having justice.
Pike is scheduled to be executed on September 30th of next year. A restaurant employee was airlifted after spilling boiling water, we've learned. According to the Shoals Insider, the accident happened at the Woods at River Road restaurant around 9:30 yesterday morning. The Brickhattan Volunteer Fire Department gave a first aid and had the employee airlifted to Huntsville Hospital for care. The employee's current condition is not known. A Madison County judge will hold a hearing to decide if 708 Bar and Grill can reopen. The city shut down the popular gathering spot last month. The city says the bar attracts crime and disturbances, but the owners deny the claims and call the shutdown unfair. The business was closed through a temporary injunction after missing an earlier court deadline. The hearing is set for October 15th. As leaves begin to fall from the trees, the city of Huntsville reminds you that piles of leaves along streets and storm drains can actually create a serious hazard. Clogged drains can lead to flooding, damaged roads, and sidewalks. Leaves wash into storm drains also harm local waterways by releasing nitrogen and phosphorus when they decompose. This can trigger harmful algae blooms, affecting fish and other aquatic life. To avoid having problems, remember to bag your leaves, mow your lawn, and don't blow leaves in the curb. The Alabama Department of Transportation is awarding more than $2 million in state grants to protect improvement projects or support improvement projects at 27 airports, including a few here in North Alabama. Included in the grants will be a project to reconstruct terminal components at Huntsville International Airport. Northwest Alabama Regional Airport in Muscle Shoals is looking to conduct a quad apron study and install perimeter fencing, among other safety improvements. For more airports expected to receive grant funding, go to FOX54.com. It's the 43rd year of the Madison Street Festival, and we're giving you a first look at the festivities and their significance. Also, we'll take you to the Wicks Family Field as Huntsville City FC prepares for their last regular season home game. Details ahead. Get your walking shoes ready for tomorrow. The Madison Street Festival is starting at 9 a.m., offering attendees entire city blocks of vendors, activities, and games for the kids. And it's all part of a larger effort to help local educators. Fox 54's Caleb Aguayo shows us the impact.
The Madison Street Festival is getting set up right now and runs through tomorrow, drawing tens of thousands of people to the historic downtown district. It's the 43rd year of the festival, which has grown to take up around 5 blocks, and with several different areas for arts, crafts, and a spot for the kids. Volunteers here say there's something for everyone. It's not just about the goods either. It's all run by a nonprofit group of volunteers who work to raise money for local education. They're putting the proceeds toward a community grant, which educators can use to get money for their supplies. They've raised tens of thousands of dollars from the past 5 years, an impact totaling over $100,000. Festival President Crystal McBrayer describes how it all works.
For teachers or people who have an educational program, it isn't just for schools. It's for senior centers. It's for anybody that's teaching and trying to give education of learning and things. They're able to apply for that. So it opens in September 1st, ends in October 31st. We have a great grant program that is fair, and we look through those and we choose the ones that match what our mission and our vision is, and then we give all the money back and do it again the next year.
The Madison Street Festival runs from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturday. And to help the kids, Madison City Schools is doing a Stuff the Bus drive if you have any items you'd like to donate. In Madison, I'm Caleb Aguayo, Fox 54 News.
Yeah, and the Stuff the Bus drive is collecting a long list of items like personal hygiene products, cleaning supplies, and classroom supplies for students. You can learn more about that donation drive and the Madison Street Festival at fox54.com. Your pup can also get into the action by becoming the city's next mayor. The city of Madison is electing their first ever pup mayor, and it's a part of a fundraising campaign for Main Street Madison to support beautification and historic preservation initiatives in downtown. Main Street Madison will have a booth at the Madison Street Festival where you can nominate your pets for the election. Anyone living in Madison can register their dog to run for mayor by paying a $25 entry fee. How cool is that? Well, it's the weekend again, and we have a couple events you and the family can enjoy. Stick with us and find out what's happening this weekend.
We're talking about a beautiful Friday night for some Friday night football across the Tennessee Valley, but what about the weekend? Is the beautiful weather going to carry into the weekend? And what about the new week? I've got rain in the forecast. We'll talk about it in just a bit.
Fest. It's a fight over an iconic piece of space history. Virginia senators are pushing back on a plan to move the Space Shuttle Discovery to Texas. Senators Mark Warner and Tim Kaine joined Senator Mark Kelly in a letter arguing that the cost of relocation would be steep, an estimated $50 million to transport the orbiter and another $325 million for reconstruction and new facilities. The letter comes in response to a July budget provision championed by Senator John Cornyn to consider bringing Discovery to, quote, its rightful home in Houston. We do have a couple of Fox 54 weather or traffic impact alerts for you today. Patterson Lane will be temporarily closed between Pulaski Pike and Murphy Hill Road starting Monday. The closure for construction of a realigned roadway. It's expected to last about 4 weeks. Detour signs and traffic control will guide you around the work zone. Remember, drive carefully. The Coleman Police Department is warning drivers of traffic delays ahead of the Oktoberfest run tomorrow. The event is scheduled from 7:30 to 10:30 tomorrow morning. Here's a map of it, closing parts of 2nd Avenue through 13th Avenue. Runners and spectators are also advised to plan ahead for parking. Free parking is available in lots surrounding Fest Holly Marketplace and on nearby downtown streets. A section of Davis Street is still closed for utility work. A contractor with Decatur Utilities installing a new sanitary sewer main between Wilson Street and Vine Street. This section of Davis Street will remain closed for 3 weeks. DU asks that drivers be aware of crews and equipment in the work zone and use extreme caution in the area. For more traffic impact alerts, go to fox54.com.
Now, the Tennessee Valley's certified most accurate forecast from the Fox 54 Weather Impact Team.
And here's a beautiful live look, this time from Drake Mountain. You can see the city below, lots of greenery there, and just above, some clouds to the left and the sunset to the right. A beautiful view, I might add. Let's bring in Fox 54 Weather Impact Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman to look at weather.
Boy, if you were up and at 'em early this morning, what a treat we had across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. I stepped out on the back patio to let the dog go play in the yard this morning, and truly, it felt amazing outside. Probably one of the best mornings we've had in quite some time. And look at this. These were the low temperatures this morning. We started the day across the Tennessee Valley in the mid and upper 50s. We started in the lower 50s up across southern Middle Tennessee. Truly some fantastic weather. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, well, it's a bit unusual for this time of year. No, definitely not. This is exactly where we should be in early October. We should be starting the day in the mid and upper 50s. Don't get too used to these types of mornings though, because those morning lows are going to begin to rise as we head into the back half of the weekend. The early part of next week, we're back to talking about morning lows somewhere in the mid and upper 60s. All good things must come to an end, and that good thing is definitely going to come to an end, unfortunately, it comes to an end sooner rather than later. Temperatures were just above or just below where we should be this time of year. Some of us climbed into the lower 80s this afternoon, but look at this. Our friends across northeast Alabama, Jackson, DeKalb, and Marshall counties down into Coleman County, they only saw high temperatures in the mid and upper 70s. The average high temperature for this time of year, right around 80 or 81 degrees. I want to take you back in time a little bit to this day in 2019. Maybe you remember this. It was a really hot October in 2019. The high temperature at the Huntsville International Airport on October 3rd, 2019 was 100 degrees. Friday night football really looks amazing across the Tennessee Valley. 75 at 7, 70 by 8, 68 by 9, 67 degrees at 10 p.m. We're going to maintain that mostly clear sky. We're going to maintain the lack of humidity. Really is going to be a wonderful night. Still dropping into the mid 50s tonight. I think it's going to be one of those nights when you can leave the windows open. I've got a low temperature right around 58 degrees. It's the first weekend of October, and it is going to be a great weekend to go do one of the many fall activities that are now in full swing across the area. 83 degrees on Saturday, 84 on Sunday, a little more cloud cover on Sunday, and there is the smallest opportunity for rain on Sunday afternoon, but I think most of us are going to end up staying dry. Maybe you're going down to Tuscaloosa this weekend. Great weather for that as well. 85 degrees with a partly cloudy sky. Now, if we look at the long term, there's about a 40 to 50% chance that we're going to be talking about above average temperatures. And by the long term, I kind of mean that period beyond the next 7 days. New drought monitor came out yesterday, and it is exactly what you would expect. In early October, we're actually not doing that bad. Really improved up across southern Middle Tennessee and then far north Alabama, northern Limestone, northern Madison, and northern Jackson counties, where we're not talking about any sort of a drought problem. And thankfully, we do have a little bit of rain in the forecast, so hopefully we'll maintain that. Have a good look at the next 7 days. There's your weekend, and then 83 on Monday, 82, 81, 80, kind of counting down there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of next week. Our best opportunities for rain are going to be Monday through Wednesday.
The weekend is here and lots happening around the Tennessee Valley over the next few days. First up, the Rocket City Fall Festival and Market tomorrow at 9 a.m. at University Pickers on Triana Boulevard. The free event market features games, pumpkin painting, food trucks, and more than 150 vendors. City of Huntsville celebrating global cultures tomorrow with the International Festival of North Alabama. It's a free family-friendly event at the JC Community Building. You can enjoy a parade of nations, live music, dance performances, food from around the world, cultural markets, and hands-on activities for the kiddos. And then finally, the Tennessee Valley Old Time Fiddlers Convention at Athens State is ending tomorrow. This is the 58th year the convention is being held, featuring concerts, vendors, and of course a music competition. More than 200 musicians will be vying for more than $47,000 in prize monies across 20 different categories. Tickets can be purchased at the gate or online at athens-fiddlers.org. And if none of this is your style, you can check out what else is happening this weekend around the Tennessee Valley at FOX54.com. Also happening this weekend, Huntsville City FC hosting their final home game of the 2025 regular season on Sunday. The match against Carolina Core FC will help decide the final standing ahead of the playoffs. Huntsville enters the weekend in 5th place in the Eastern Conference and is aiming to finish in the top 4 to secure a home playoff game. The match starts at noon. To learn more about some of the promotions expected during the game, go to fox54.com. Mo, how exciting is that?
That's very exciting, especially for a team that is still on the rise and new to the area. Tennessee Titans, their fans would be excited to actually get a win this Sunday. We'll talk to Cam Ward about what's next in sports.
Fox 54 Sports is sponsored by Alpha Insurance.
The Tennessee Titans have seen better days, and right now the team is in the midst of one of their longest losing skids in franchise history, no matter if it's in the city of Nashville or even Houston. Dating back to last season, the Titans have lost 10 straight games. In their most recent loss, Cam Ward and the Titans offense mustered 175 total yards of offense. That is not a misprint. And that was against a team that was also winless. In his post-game presser, Ward calling out the entire offense, including himself, basically saying they were terrible in a very nice way. Since then, the Titans have been finding ways to improve on the practice field, and hopefully that transitions over to the playing field. Warden is not backing down on his comments.
Not really. They're gonna blow it up no matter what, whether it's good or bad for the Titans. So we trying to win football games. That's the biggest thing, and that's what we try to go do this week. I'm caring about my teammates and trying to win football games.
All right, the Arizona Cardinals have lost back-to-back games on field goals as time has expired. Head coach Jonathan Gannon reminding his team that any week, any team in the NFL can win regardless of their record. Buda Baker echoed that same statement, remembering that there's a #1 overall pick in Cam Ward running the offense with the Titans as well.
This is the NFL. You know, every team is liable to win and lose, no matter if you're 13-0 or 0-13. You know, anybody can be beat. It's a matter of who puts in that work throughout the week, who can live in the present one day at a time, and who can execute and play the game with motor and violence on Sundays.
All right, so Sunday's game kicks off at 3:05 Central over in Glendale, Arizona. Titans have lost 10 in a row. We'll have highlight Sunday night on Fox 54 Sports Extra. Kanisha.
Yes, Mo. Well, before we let you go, a landowner in Maine found a massive moose in a well. Here's a picture of it. Of course, he called wildlife officials to help, but there's only one way to get a scared moose to cooperate. Very carefully, wardens and wildlife biologists work together to sedate and blindfold the animal before using heavy straps and an excavator to pull the bull moose back up to level ground. Yeah, I hear those moose are very large.
I mean, you can see it's very large right there.
Yeah, you could see it, but I hear it's one thing to see it on television, to see it on your phone, but to be up close and personal, I guess, to see it, it's a totally different experience.